everyone, my name is Jeff. I created this video so that people could see for themselves how to do their own hair replacement in their own homes using regular household. Okay, first thing I do, choose a contour that fits the front of your unit. So let's get started here. I take the unit and line it up so that it looks good. Just don't put it down, you know, all the way down onto there, but just sort of visually line it up and take and tack down just that little corner that I pointed out, and that's all, just that little part right there. So I'm gonna peel some of the back off, just reach back behind here, peel some of it off, not all of it, just come up about halfway, and then I'm gonna take and begin to slowly line my tape up with the very edge of that lace, just really nicely, so that it's right up to the edge but not going past it. This allows you the flexibility of only doing it just a little bit at a time here. So I never really have to touch the tape and get my fingers stuck to it. Then when we get to the center portion, we just pull back some more tape. Just take and sort of line that edge right up with the lace and just push it down. Everything looks pretty good from here, so we'll just start tacking it on down right to the edge. Now here's a little trick that I learned. You peel the one side off. Peel it off slowly too, because this 3mm tape has a tendency to want to lift up if you pull it. So just pull slowly. Then take the piece that you just pulled off and use that to get a grip on it so you can pull off the other one. And there you have it, front contour. It's on there. It's lined up near perfect with the very edge. And no mess. And no tape stuck to the thumb. So let's get started. We'll just take this and just kind of line that up with the center as best we can and just sort of tack that down. And that's how we're going to get started. We'll just start and we'll just do a little bit at a time. The first part that you got to do is get that center up in there and get that center lined up and get it tacked down. Okay. Once you got that part done, the rest of it should almost naturally just kind of fall in place for you. And I'm just going to start on the one side here. I'm just going to kind of just pull it tight and tack it down nice and easy. And I'm just going to go just a little bit at a time, slide my fingers down, stretch it out just a little bit, pull it tight so there's no wrinkles in it. And I'll go all the way up to where my own hair starts, and then I'll start on the other side. And I'll kind of continue that on down the sides too, as I'm going down the sides. You know, I'm just kind of pulling it up until I kind of feel that it's getting close to my own hair, and I just kind of tack it down. And don't push it down all and then run your finger all over it, because you're going to end up getting the hairs stuck in the glue if you're doing that. We're going to tack it down real good here in just a minute. Once I get to the back, I'll usually just kind of pull it back just a little bit and just kind of roll my fingers off of it, and then that's it, it's on. A touch-up is where you get up in there and you put some adhesive in there and you tack that bugger down the way that you want it. So let's go ahead and get started on that. And I'll just use a brush to brush back the spot where the adhesive is sort of missing, and we'll just take and just slowly put just a tiny little bit of it up in there and just try to run it back and forth up in there. Just kind of brush it around a little bit with your stir stick. You don't necessarily have to put clips up in there to clip the hair back. You can if you want, but this is going to be over with pretty quickly, so there's really no need to get a bunch of tools out. And this can be something that you can do during the week. You know, I've had it to where the weather will just be so hot and humid that my bond just won't stick for any more than about 4 days, and then I'll have the very edge of it sometimes will lift up. So in order to fix that, I'll just do a little touch up using these white glues. And now at this point I can just take and I can actually use my brush to sort of begin to tack it down rather than getting in there with my fingers or trying to get in there with my comb. You know, you can spray lace release onto your comb too and use that to get up in there. You just want to put something onto your comb so that it doesn't stick to the adhesive that's underneath that lace. And then you can just go up and go all the way around and tack that lace down really good, and then you're good to go. Your touch up is done. First thing that I like to do is take a headband and put that around my head here, because I'm going to be using some lace release and some alcohol and things like that, and I don't want that running down into my eyes. I just have a bottle that I filled with water, and I like to just get my hair all saturated in water first before I start applying the lace release. Doing it this way kind of helps it so that you're making sure that you get the alcohol or the lace release right down into the adhesive, and so that the hairs aren't getting in the way and stopping it. You know, another good reason to use a dabber instead of a spray bottle is because you're going to get less of the solvent, the lace release or the alcohol, onto the hair itself, and you're going to get more of it right down onto the lace or whatever base that you're using. Time to see if we can find a loose spot here. I would normally just take and start kind of wiping away at the frontal part and see if any of it's starting to lift up. If you feel a lot of resistance, then it's probably not time yet. You probably need to apply a little bit more of the lace release or glue release or alcohol or whatnot. I'll just slowly kind of pull on it, and that's it. Okay, now we can work on giving ourselves a haircut. What I'm going to be using is called a vacuum cutter. This particular one has a vacuum attached to rotating cutters. When you turn it on, the vacuum engages and the cutters rotate, and it draws the hair up into this transparent tube here so that you can see just how much you're cutting off. Just take a little bit off at a time if you're not comfortable. You know, the first couple of times that you do this you might be uncomfortable, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is very easy to do. Just go ahead and get started cutting and keep it running back and forth in the same area for a little bit, and then just kind of move on back. And then when we go to the back, what I'm going to be doing is I'll just simply take the cutter and be going down and then crossing over more towards the center. Go ahead and just do the sides just like that. If you find that it looks a little choppy or it looks like it's uneven, just go back over it really slowly, and it'll finish cutting any hairs that it might have missed.